The Legendary Remix banner for March 2022 is out now. It has a starting 6% focus rate with no paid breakers, and the 40 summon spark is available for everyone. You can pick up any of the 8 featured units. We'll be briefly going over the 8 units available and what fun skills are on offer. First up, we have our one Legendary Remix unit for this month, and it's Legendary Azura. We talked about her refinement at the Update 6.3 Refines video, but we'll summarize the changes here as well. For her Remix boss, Azura's Grey Waves assist has been upgraded to Grey Waves 2, grants another action to target ally, and if target ally is an infantry or flying ally, grants no panic, and target can move 1 extra space. Basically, Grey Waves is mostly the same, but now Azura hands out the no panic status. Important to understand that she only gives no panic to infantry and flying allies along with the extra movement. Not a huge improvement, but Grey Waves was already incredibly strong, and no panic is meant to complement Prayer Wheel since it spreads the highest field buff on the ally to all their stats. Further refined, Prayer Wheel also gives Azura a 2-space +6 speed buff for her team, and Azura herself gets Triangle Depth 3 with +5 attack and speed. Generally speaking, Legendary Azura has not changed that much from before. She's still insanely good as a dancer, and now gets a way to buff teammates via her weapon, and she has no panic. In terms of new builds, you can either give Azura extra support skills or add in some attack and speed to boost her red matchups using Triangle Depth. As part of her Remix buffs, she did gain attack and speed push 4 for free, so that's a nice offensive boost. You could run an offensive Sacred Seal, and as a flyer, Azura can run Rain C skills for in-combat debuffs. Fittingly, Harmonic Sonya has just introduced Speed and Res Hold, which is a 3-space rain. Not only does it benefit Azura, but the extra range can help support allies. If you prefer other skills, we also have the newish Cross Spurs, and you can hit +7 field buffs with Fortify Res 4 or Horn Attack 4. Since Azura comes with Attack Tactic, she can provide +6 attack and speed buffs to all nearby allies, then she dances one of them to spread all their buffs to defense and res as well. You could also run a 3rd Tactic Sacred Seal, but if you only care about buffing one singular unit, then you don't even need Attack Tactic. If you open up the C slot, you could definitely run mobility skills like Guidance or Ground or Air Orders. Azura has Aerobatics in the B slot, but if you want the classic Wings of Mercy, then you can use the Sacred Seal version. Another spicy option is Speed and Res 4 Trace. Dancers can use Kanto if that's something you want to have. Everyone got a free dual Corn, and the A Hero Rises banner has 2 Farce Trace holders. Last thing to note is that Azura normally has Blue Dual Flying 3. If you want to get the tier 4 for arena scoring, that's all good. All in all, not a lot of huge changes for Azura. No panic and the AoE speed buff is nice, but Triangle Depth might mess up certain situations. Regardless, Azura's still a damn good unit. I honestly would still recommend trying to get her if you don't have the other stronger dancers. Let's now talk about the 7 other units on the banner. In the red group, we start with Legendary Ike. He's got his Ragnar Refined with accelerated specials, and Radiant Aether 2 is a 4 cooldown Aether, which means this Ike actually has a 3 cooldown Aether at all times. Radiant Aether 2 also gives -2 cooldown on turn 1, meaning Ike starts with Aether on 1 cooldown. This makes it easier to get that first proc off, and that's great for the special Spiral build. In terms of inheritable skills, Legendary Ike is the only source of Warding Breath. However, the Breath Circuit Seals just open up a lot more stronger builds. He also does have Joint Drive Res if you do grab Warding Breath, and there's also Defense Tactic and Seal Attack and Defense 2. If anything, just grab Warding Breath or Joint Drive Res. Next up is Brave Marth, and yes, this remix banner features all CY05 Brave heroes. Brave Marth is an excellent infantry swordsman with lots of attack and speed, and his Genesis Falchion grants X-Rate specials, Dragon Effectiveness, and +5 dull stats. Marth also gets additional effects based on the number of field buffs on his teammates, including No Follow-Up 3, another +5 attack with 5 HP on hit healing, and then Vantage. Marth can buff himself with +6 dull stats via Shining Emblem, and it also gives him damage equal to 35% of his speed stat. If it does proc, Marth then gives his whole team +6 field buffs. For inheritable skills, Marth has Distant Pressure, which is distant counter with +5 speed on either phase, but it also comes with recoil damage. He then has Spurn 3 for dodge damage reduction and even Tempest for extra movement. As a reminder, Distant Pressure requires regular distant counter, and Marth's going to come with that as well. For the blue group, we have Legendary Azura, and for inheritable skill, she has Attack and Speed Push 4, Aerobatics, Attack Tactic, and also Blue Dual Flying 3. Everything except Attack Tactic is pretty rare, so prioritize those first. Joining Azura is going to be a really strong pick in Brave Erica. She's a monster Lance Cavalier with an extremely powerful player phase. Erica's Binding Rig and Leaf accelerates specials, is effective against armor and cavalry units, grants +5 to all stats, grants 30% damage reduction for one hit, and also gives offensive no follow-up if initiating. She then has Moonlight Bangle, which gives Kanto 2, no guard, and if her special triggers, she deals extra damage equal to the foe's defense stat, and it's going to scale with her max special cooldown value. Basically, if Erica initiates and her special goes off, not many things survive, and she gets the Kanto away. Erica also has Surge Sparrow, which is slightly better Swift Sparrow, but it also heals for max % HP, scaling with special cooldown value again. This healing is very strong, and I'm a very big fan of Surge Sparrow. The only downside is that you must proc your special on the player phase. Last, Erica has Attack and Speed Menace for those long range attack and speed buffs and debuffs. It's pretty easy to get both Surge Sparrow and Attack and Speed Menace when inheriting. I highly suggest you grab Threat and Attack and Speed 2 from Gonzalez, or you get Swift Sparrow 2 from Luthir. If you want Azura for her remix, you cannot go wrong with a spare Brave Erica. Very nice unit to have around. For the green group, we start with Gunther back again with her remix boss. Chilling CO2 now spreads an AoE attack and rest debuff around its initial target. This helps with Blizzard's extra attack boost based on total debuffs, and its refine gives Gunther the pledging effect for even more debuff stacking. She's a very scary mage cav if you cannot avoid her debuffs. For passives, Gunther has Attack and Res Solo 4, which is not bad, and she has Res Ploy as well. She also has Fortress Res 3, but for sure grab Attack and Res Solo instead. If you like debuffing units, then Gunther is a fantastic hero to have, and she can help support other debuff users. Joining Gunther is Brave Gatekeeper. He's a tanky green infantry mage, and he's all about controlling enemy movement with Detailed Report. He can obstruct melee and ranged units, which is unique, and he prevents warping skills within forced spaces. Sadly, he can't stop Kanto just yet. Now for his Charging Horn, Gatekeeper provides a big attack and speed AoE buff around him. He also gets bonuses for having nearby allies, including -6 attack and res debuffs and fallout prevention. To continue holding his ground, Gatekeeper has Close Reversal, which is just a straight up better close counter skill. It grants +5 defense, but the Close Foil is another strong alternative. For support skills, Gatekeeper has Joint Drive Defense and Harsh Command Plus. Another reminder, if you want Close Reversal, you're going to need Close Counter first. However, it is possible to obtain all of Gatekeeper's inheritable skills with some very basic prereq skill inheriting. Last up, we have the Colorless group with Legendary Azura. He's an infantry archer with the pretty strong Luna Arc bow that deals extra damage based on 25% of the foe's defense stat. His Lunar Flash special also deals damage equal to 20% of the foe's defense and 20% of Alm's speed. While his remix and refine is a bit far away, it seems like, I do think Legendary Azura could definitely rise back up as a scary archer to watch out for. In terms of inheritable skills, Alm has Darting Blow 4, which is not really the best A skill. +9 speed is great, but Swift Sparrow 3 is +6 attack with +7 speed, so it's just not that amazing in comparison. Odd Attack Wave is also okay, but not a high priority. If you do not need all, definitely use them for no follow-up. Last up is Brave Marianne, colorless infantry mage. She has tons of attack and speed with pretty low base defense. This can be mitigated with her Phantasm Tome, which basically has a stronger low speed and res effect, but it also gives Marianne a massive 70% damage reduction for one hit when she's initiating. That is pretty nuts. For her assist skill, Marianne has Requiem Dance, which is not actually the dance ability. It's a 3 cooldown special that only works when Marianne initiates, and after combat, if it's charged up, she's going to refresh an ally within 2 spaces. That ally will only be able to move 1 space though. Now Marianne can be quite strong, but Requiem Dance is not super easy to activate. She doesn't exercise specials, doesn't have no guard, and she doesn't have increased special charge. Marianne has Time's Pulse, but there are still may be issues with Requiem Dance, and unfortunately it gives no actual damage in combat, unlike Marth's Shining Emblem. Either you play around Marianne's ability to refresh, or you lose out on a damage special. If you'd rather nab some skills with her, then Marianne has 3 great passives, Attack and Speed Unity, No Follow-Up 3, and Time's Pulse are all worth grabbing. If you need no follow-up, then maybe this colorless group, it might be for you. That will be it for this month's Remix banner. We got an idea of when to expect these legendaries again. Gunther's going to be back in September, while Azura, Ike, and Alm are coming back in November. From the previous schedules, we can also kind of plan out this year's remixes. Doomwhip seems to be getting his in May. In July, it's going to be Roy and Yoon. Naga's going to be in September, and unfortunately, Alm has been pushed back to November. You may notice that we may no longer be sticking to 2 remixes every other month. We just had 3 months back to back, so Azura by herself isn't so crazy, but it seems like we're slowing down in general from here on out. Of course, changes can happen, so if you do want one of these units, then at least plan accordingly. That'll be it from me. Thank you for watching, good luck on your summons, and I will see you guys in the next video.